Hi. We're going to share some messages with some tarot. My name's Kristen. I'm going to share divine messages with you guys. We're going to call on our angels, saints, ancestors, and spirit guides into our space for divine messages. For our highest and greatest good, we're surrounded in divine white light. So it is and so it will be. All right, so I'm going to give it another little shuffle. All right. Knock, knock. Who's there? God's there. The big H, I call it, the Hierophant. Right? So it has something to do with like your beliefs, how you operate in your life, in all the different areas of your life. It also talks about a commitment, specifically with yourself, right? And then it kind of like reaches outwardly, right? So what's this trying to tell us? Let's see. Saw the Lover's Peak. The Fool. What's cool about the Fool is, didn't mean to rhyme that, but hey, there's this like free spirit energy, right? There's this, something's been cleared, right? There's this like newness, freshness, like even what they're holding is empty. So there's opportunity, potential. All right. It's almost like I'm getting like chance even, like I'm getting like free fall. All right, so what are you free falling for? Ooh, the Star. Wow. Faith. You have so much faith that you can like trust where you're being led, because you're being led by spirit. You see that bird, that dove, that represents the Holy Spirit, spirit in general, your higher self, your beloveds, right? Those that you consult, right? Your wise counsel. And then I'm getting the Star, even more wise counsel, like healing energy, tapping into like the wisdom, the universe, the replenishment, the feeding of the soul, right? Replenishing one's soul, okay? And how that creates like a ripple effect. So these are some powerful cards to get out of the gate. And this star energy, this bright light. So whatever this bright light is for you, or maybe this is you, maybe this is like your heart, your God spark. It reminds me of like the all spark, the God spark, right? So this is something that's within you, right? And it's something that can be shared. It can be seen, it can be known. It might even be able to be heard. It's like all the extra sensories. It's like that little bit of extra, okay? I feel like it's needed, okay? It's like going to replenish after this. So what's this? The Tower. I feel like there are cycles that are playing out here, even on Earth, and our own human race and its evolution. So there's something really big playing out here. And so it also resonates personally. So what are you going through as part of your own development cycle? What phase are you in? What lessons have you been learning? What are you questioning? And what are you leaving behind? Okay. And what are you taking with you? Like, what are you taking with you? Not a whole lot from the past, right? That pail is empty, meaning it's like a clean slate. So I feel like whatever no longer serves you needs to stay where you leave it. You can't take it with you, right? Yeah, I feel like there might have been a bit of upset, a bit of loss, a little bit of rejection maybe, or just boredom, or not feeling like something's a fit. But I feel like what you don't see coming with the moon, okay, what you don't see coming here, right? We're also at the bottom of the deck here with these cards, but there's something new coming in, right? It's kind of like this opportunity to have a fresh beginning, new start, that kind of energy, because this is representing an ending. This is representing like chapter closed, right? And it could have been like a major chapter, right, in your life, like major life lesson, major chapter with the Wheel of Fortune, right? It's almost like if something ends as part of this lesson learned, this chapter, something new begins. So this could represent like the polarity of the experience. So you might have gone through something that you learned a lot of lessons with, right? That helped clear karmic debt, helped with your healing, right? And helping with your ignition. Like, I feel like you're initiated is the right term that I'm looking for. But it felt like you got ignited. Maybe a bit of purification by fire, like literally. There's a catalyst here playing out, and I feel like it's going to jumpstart something, okay? Something that like is your calling here with the star energy. Very hopeful, optimistic, faithful energy. And I feel like it's going to be a difficult ending for maybe who might have been on the other side of this lesson with you. We always have lessons, I call them assignments with other people for numerous reasons. So I feel like something was learned here, even though it might have been a bit difficult to experience, right? With the cups, may have involved like relationships that maybe didn't quite meet their potential or fulfillment, right? I feel like that's okay. You learned what you needed to learn with these relationships. There's something new coming in as a result of what you've experienced. All right. There is this like investing in making wise investments. I have the Temperance as well. So this is like a bit of moderation playing out here. Things are being tempered, balanced, harmonized, made into peace. All right. So did you see that? That was cool. All right. Hang on. Let me see what we got here. Hang on. And I get the Hangman. Oh, Spirit's got jokes today. Oh, and the Magician. Fascinating. Look at Hanged Man. Hold on. Wait a minute. And then I have the Magician, which is like creation itself, alchemy, manifestation. So you could be like a bit of needing to allow things to play out naturally, therefore like neutral position. It's kind of like a wait. And then this is like, okay, then it's time to kind of like get going, take action, right? You know, continue dreaming the big dreams, continue to work on your creations, continue your practice. But there's a bit of like divine timing at play. Okay? As things unfold, okay? Or fall. It's interesting because I started this reading and I was like, it's something about a trust fall. And then I have like the Tower. So this is like, there's the trust fall and then there's the collapse. Two different perspectives, right? But almost like still change, right? Like there's varying degrees of change, right? So there's like the upswing, right? And then there's the downswing. So I feel like this is a bit of like cause and effect playing out here is what I'm getting. I'm seeing like the infinity symbol and the reference of duality and okay. Let's focus on this new beginning, new start, this opportunity to create, okay? Because this is create energy. All right. Huh. Man, the star, this particular star card in this deck, it reminds me of like Earth Angel energy. So for some of you, you might really have a strong connection to the angelic realm. Okay, you pray to the angels, you know, call on Archangel Michael and Archangel Metatron and Gabriel and Raphael and, right, I have a Knight of Swords, prayers, the spoken word. There's something maybe that you are meant to either speak or someone wants to communicate. Okay, there could be communication on its way to you. Ooh, I just saw the Empress. Oh, I just got the Ace of Cups. Look at. All right, so someone may want to communicate to you their feelings. Okay, maybe there's a messenger. Who's known as the messenger? Archangel Gabriel. But then the healer is Raphael. So I feel like those two angels you may really strongly resonate with. But I'm getting like you might find out some important information. It could be, I'm seeing this Ace of Cups as like, you could be on the receiving end of this. You could be the Ace of Cups. All right. And so there's this like, you're the beautiful vessel here. You're the vessel that is infinite, refillable, just a beautiful offering. So this could be like an offering, a manifestation on its way to you. I also have a Queen of Wands. So you could be the Queen of Wands. All right, I was picking up on that duality, the polarity, the cause and effect. And then we have the Two of Pentacles. And then I have an Eight of Cups. Bottom of the deck. So I'm getting like, all right, so there's two sides to the story, and then there's the truth is what I'm getting. All for the intentions of love, right? At least one party had intentions of love. The other party, maybe not so much, right? Yeah, I feel like there's this like a bit of rejection, loss, abandonment here. And then we have a bit of like walking away because something's no longer satisfying, right? Maybe someone doesn't have access to the support that they once had, emotionally and materially. And as a result, are needing to walk away from a situation, people, places, things, right? And then I have a Page of Pentacles. Yeah, so I feel like this might have been a cause and effect situation, right? This could be karma playing out here. I feel like someone is being seen for their power in a situation, but it's the grace part. It's the almost like judging a book by a cover. Like maybe you don't look like what you represent or how you show up. I don't know. There's something about this Queen of Wands. So this could be you, fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag. I feel like someone may want to tell you that they're in love with you or still have feelings for you, or someone may want to communicate with you regarding like maybe someone's experience with somebody regarding love. So this could have something to do with like, for some reason, like you're on the upswing of this. And then I'm getting like they could be dealing with the downswing of this, right? Considering these cards, right? Yeah. I feel like someone's realizing a bit of like what they invested in. And they could be like measuring this with the Knight of Pentacles. Like this is a card of someone like taking things into account, right? So it's almost like someone was very focused on taking things into account, the appearance of things and the material realm. And so that might have been like their motive, right? And maybe there's a bit of realization playing out here. And they're like, wait a minute, maybe I didn't quite invest in what I thought I invested in. Because now they're finding that they're having to leave, depart, abandon what they invested in. Because it like bears no fruit. There's little potential there, right? Maybe they thought there was going to be a lot of growth, but maybe they're not seeing evidence of that. Or there's something that they may have to pay for, or maybe responsibilities are shifting in some way in their life, and it's affecting their what they call important to them, which would be their appearances and material. This could be like when we saw the Hierophant, it talked about all the different areas of life. So this could be their home, their work, their relationships, all that. But I feel like it's divine intervention. There's balance being restored here. Remember how I was saying, like, you might resonate with the angelic realm. Well, I don't know how much clearer it gets when you get the Temperance card. This is that divine intervention. All right. I feel like somebody's realizing, like, maybe it's not all what it seems. Yeah. I'm getting it's not all what it seems. And there's like being on the upswing and being on the downswing. I'm getting like collectives on the upswing, right? You're experiencing this new timeline, okay? One that, you know, you're putting yourself first in this situation, right? You're needing to kind of like remember what you learned in this past cycle, right? Like, let's not run out of the gate. Let's take some time to kind of like integrate our perspectives here and what we learned before we go and create. So there's a need of like, you know, there was a lot of experience. There's a need to kind of like continue healing. We're not quite there yet, but there's a wait, and then there's okay, let's go create. So it's interesting with this Knight of Swords, because this is like someone's energy that wants to like rush in, tell you, say, I heard this, I saw this, I know this, like all the things. It's almost like somebody may want to tell you about someone and what their experience was and how whatever they thought it was not. It's like they got juggled, like the juggler got juggled or something like that. And now they're walking away and having to abandon the situation that they thought was going to be, you know, the bee's knees. All right. Yeah. And now they're dealing with judgment as a result. So there's definitely some reflecting going on in the collective, whether it's you guys directly or those that you might have had a soul agreement here, right? An experience that is playing out. I feel like there's a need to kind of like go within to see where and why this lesson is playing out. Like, why is this in your reality? Why did you experience what you experienced? What is it teaching you? All right. 6 of Pentacles. I feel like someone could have been like either doing things for the sake of money, or there might have been someone giving to someone else on the side, or this is like charitable giving and receiving energy. I feel like maybe they are receiving what they gave. And maybe that is what they're no longer aligning with, or they don't like that vibration, right? Because they are too also responsible for what they create. But I'm also getting like you're in that energy of receiving what you put out, and I feel like maybe that's what's being taken into account is like, how are they doing better than me, or why am I going through all this difficulty and they're looking all golden over here. It's almost like someone is taking into account your life instead of their own, and they wouldn't be where they're at if they were focused on their own life and working on doing things to better themselves. I'm getting like someone needs to focus on themselves instead of like what everybody else is doing, right? Like, there's something here that you're meant to do and meant to share in whatever way that is. And they may have tried to like get in the middle of that. And I feel like with the Chariot here, you overcame whatever obstacles they tried to put in your way. All right. It's like they may have tried to judge you, but they're not in that position to judge. Okay. Leave the judging to the Creator. All right. What's our final card here? You could identify with like being like a rebel with a cause. The Lovers coming out, last card. Yeah, I feel like, you know, you're showing signs of putting in that hard work and it paying off. This is a power position, the Nine of Pentacles. This represents like the Empress of the lower arcana. So it's like you earned your position, right? Like you didn't get this by batting your eyes and any of that. Like you got this, it was hard earned. Nine of Pentacles is, usually either something that is hard earned. It represents like step by step. It represents, a bit of privilege too. However, I feel like this represents a lot of hard work paying off. And now you're in this position of financial independence or building something towards a legacy. This could be like work, career, company expansion, creative projects with the Page of Wands. And then I'm getting like someone had a free will choice to decide, and they're accountable for how they show up in relationships when it comes to the Lovers. The Lovers is about choice, decisions. And we're all responsible for our decisions regardless of the influences. And I feel like someone may have fallen for the influences of things and didn't think that they would be responsible for their choices. I'm getting like, that's not how it works here. Everybody's responsible for the actions and choices that they make. And they could be learning this lesson. And, the energy that you invest in, right? The energy you put forward is what you receive back. So it's kind of like, okay, well, check yourself then. Like, what energy did you put out? And what are you starting to receive back? And for collective, like, we know the energy that we received, and we also know the energy that we put back. And we also know the energy that we continue to invest towards our own growth and development, because it starts with us. I feel like that's a good starting point, is to do this like evaluation of like, where in my life am I leaking energy? Where in my life is someone just trauma jumping or dumping on me? Where am I like overgiving, people pleasing, enabling, like all of those things? Like, whose company am I keeping? And what do they mirror back to me about myself? Like, that's the kind of work, shadow work, that is needed. I feel like for some of those that are now starting to awaken. And it may be a bit harshly said, but a spiritual awakening is not a soft process. Okay, it's not meant to be soft. The Hanged Man talks about like enlightenment, guidance, being in a receiving mode, being open to receive, seeing things in a new perspective. Maybe you've gained this perspective as well as the other perspective, and now it's time to integrate. So there's a need to kind of take things as they come. Like, everybody's path is unique. And so what's playing out for you is on your timeline, right? And so there might have been like someone wanting to like manipulate someone's timeline, manipulate what, they can manifest and create for themselves. I feel like through that ill will, free will choice to create with ill will, right, is maybe what someone is experiencing here. When we were seeing, and there was some stuff that was done in the dark here too. It's kind of like someone might have been abusing some power here. I feel like your experience, though, helped you close out karmic cycles, and through that process relieves you of karmic debt, which allows you to continue on your ascension process. So everything was used in a way of like, you are that warrior queen, right? The Queen of Wands is a warrior, right? Like, has no problem with action, especially standing up for a cause, right? I feel like in whichever way she's called, and sometimes she has the opportunity to call on her friends, like her familiars, if you will. I feel like you're resourceful, you're resilient, you're a warrior. Sometimes people look at you and think you're very fair and innocent and maybe predictable, but I feel like you surprise people. I feel like they take you for granted. They consider you maybe a bit novice or naive, because I am getting this fool here too. But I feel like, no. Like, you have a strong spiritual position here and authority. I feel like you've called your power back, and like I was getting like this initiation. So whatever you experienced here, it was really helpful with your own ascension process, and whatever contract you had, agreement, right, to experience this, and they experienced that, and then, you know, there is this like, oh, okay, I'm understanding this lesson. Now I can apply this lesson. I can use this as a tool for my creation here because I'm more conscious and aware, right? This speaks about conscious awareness and as above, so below. So it's helping to create and creating from a place of love, right? I feel like all the power you need is within you now, and you still have the ability to choose, right? The Two of Pentacles. It's like make your decision, like choices wisely. I feel like maybe someone's counsel didn't have the best intentions for them. I feel like you might have gone within, right, for your wise counsel, where I'm getting like someone from the past might have chosen others as wise counsel, and it probably led them to some sort of unfulfilled desires, or feeling emptiness, or feeling like something wasn't worth it in the end. And with that, I feel like, you know, it was still their free will choice regardless of the outside influences. Okay, so I feel like this is about like you remembering that like you made your choice, you've taken your action, you've been moving forward towards your goals. I feel like, you know, they may have been doing that too, but I feel like the intentions were quite different. And intention matters, right? So there could be a lot playing out regarding that. So this cycle is closed, right? So everything has been taken into account by the Akashic, right? Everything's noted, and everybody has their own Akashic records, and everything that goes on is accounted for. So with that Knight of Pentacles, I'm getting like, okay, so someone is having to be accountable. Yes. You have been accountable, right? And I feel like so will they. Whoever they is to you. You know who they are. I'm getting like it could be those who are really close to you, like people who you trusted, people who you invested a lot of time and energy into, right? Maybe there was some sort of financial gain here or interest for someone, and maybe you thought they had love for you, and come to find out like that was not the case, right? They may have, you know, focused on something that they thought was more important. Because I feel like there was like a party of three here. Right? So that could be like you and children, that could be you and family, this could be a friend group, this could be third party. It could represent a couple different things, but nonetheless, like you're not interested in these cups, right? I feel like if you're making any investments, it's into yourself, and it's for working, you know, and transmuting and bringing harmony and peace to whatever situation you might be involved in. If it doesn't bring you peace, you're not investing in it. And you'll, you know, kind of put your nose up to it. Like, I'm not interested unless it's going to bring me peace, because I've worked very hard to maintain my peace. Okay? You might resonate with like being a peacekeeper, peacemaker. Maybe you tend to moderate. Maybe you're someone who kind of like calms down situations or can see things from both sides, right? So you don't necessarily pick a side, but you find like the middle ground in things, the bright side, the neutrality of it all. Even in like the world of duality, you can be that neutral party. That's amazing if you can do that, right? I feel like you have this special cause that you're meant to help with. And I don't think anyone can take that away from you. Okay? I feel like there's some love here. Okay? I have a King of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, and a Page of Cups over here. I feel like there's new love here. And I feel like you could be investing in something new, something maybe not where you're currently located. Okay, because we do go from an 8 and then we have an ace. I feel like whatever pain and suffering you experienced at the hands of others is going to bring in some sort of prosperity that you could probably never fathom for yourself. And that's what's so beautiful about the divine, because there's this energy of like using a difficult situation and bringing something into balance as a result of it. It's like you went through this really difficult lesson in life, but now there's this upswing of it. There's something good coming of it, right? It's like using all of that, right, to show you more love, to give you more love, to show you where you need to love you more, and to show you where like people aren't showing up for you the way that you deserve them to show up for you. And sometimes we experience these things and it's for those kinds of wake-up calls, right? Like all of God's children are deserving, okay, and are worthy. And when you don't see your worth and value and you let someone else's, you know, unwise investments affect you in that kind of way, that's when you have to take a step back and be like, regardless, right, there needs to be some balance here. So whatever situation you were in before, I feel like it's taught you to prioritize your peace and to bring balance, okay, and harmony, and to almost like temper yourself in really difficult situations. That's a super skill right there. That's like a superpower, right? Because there's so much change going on in the world, and to have your own peace of mind, to be able to temper your own energy and bring things into balance and harmonize. This could be raising your vibration. Like chaos could be going on and you're at peace. You're not contributing to the chaos, right? Because you're meant to be the anchor. You're meant to anchor. You're meant to be that lighthouse, which is that peace, specifically during changing times. So that's interesting. You could be moving, right? You could be thinking about all the different ways in which you could do something. I feel like you have what it takes to leave whatever it was behind and embark on this new adventure. Yeah. All right. Well, I feel like there's something new. And I think you're going to really enjoy it. I feel like they want you to take a chance. All right? Take a chance. I feel like the outcome is looking pretty good with the 10 of Cups. Okay? And I do feel like you could be moving towards a new love connection as well. I feel like you've left the unrequited love behind with the old version of you. And now the new version is here. And it's here to stay. And you're attracting an equal partnership regarding that. Right? That's beautiful. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave the reading there. Totally enjoyed it. Glad to see y'all. And maybe you are that rebel with a cause. High five. I'll see you guys in the next reading. Bye now.